Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today we're making beef pilau. We're going to get started with 1 medium onion chopped up, 2 Roma tomatoes chopped up, some minced garlic, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, some brown sugar, some Caribbean green seasoning. I have here 2 pounds of beef that I have pressure cooked. This is pigeon peas, also known as gandules. We're using olive oil today, black pepper, tomato paste, beef flavored bouillon, some Worcestershire sauce, and we'll also be using the stock water from pressure cooking the beef. So we're going to get started by heating up 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil in a heavy bottomed pot. If you don't want to use olive oil, corn oil or vegetable oil works just fine. We want to add the brown sugar into that. We want that to get a nice dark caramelized color, not burnt, but just darker than what it is. So I'm just going to flatten out the brown sugar so there's no lumps and all of the sugar can caramelize at the same rate. Okay, so this is a perfect color that we want our brown sugar to get to, okay? Make sure you're watching your pot because the sugar caramelizes really quickly and we don't want it to be too dark because from caramelization, it gets burnt very, very quickly. And if we're working with burnt sugar, then our food will all have like a bitter aftertaste to it. So at this point, we just kind of want to dump everything into the pot and get all of our flavors, working together. So yeah, everything kind of comes together. You want to put your meat in there and then just get it coated with the brown sugar. Then we're just going to add everything in. You don't have to add it necessarily in the order that I did it, but as long as you get everything in there, then we're good to go. So that's your onions, tomatoes, your green seasoning, your garlic, your Worcestershire sauce. We will be using half of the can of tomato paste. So that's about 2 ounces or 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. We also need our pigeon peas or our gandules. Now I used dry pigeon peas and I had pressure cooked it. If you don't have access to the dry pigeon peas, feel free to use a 15-ounce can of gandules, and you'll either find it like plain in water or in a brine or soaking in a coconut milk in a can. So either one of those options is good enough. You'll be good to go. So we just kind of want to combine everything into the pot, and then I'm going to add about 2 cups or 1.5 cups of my beef stock and allow everything to come together and cook. So to make the beef stock, what I actually did was I had purchased like a piece of beef, like a top roast or something like that, and then I just cut it into 1-inch cubes and I threw it into my pressure cooker with enough water to cover it up, and I think a bit of salt and black pepper, and then I allowed it to pressure cook for about 20 to 30 minutes. That cuts down on the cooking time, of actually making your dish. So feel free to do that, use that useful tip. At this point, you can feel free to taste, the pot, like taste the water in the pot. If you want to add any more salt or whatnot, feel free to do that. I added about 3 extra cups of beef stock, and then I closed it and allowed it to boil for about 20 to 30 minutes. When we open it back up, it looks like this, and then we're going to add 3 cups of rice in here. First I added 2.5, and then this is another half a cup of rice. And that's because sometimes making PELAU can be tricky because we already have all of the water in the pot. Now we need to add sufficient rice that the rice will cook in the water. We don't want to add too much rice so as for the rice not to cook properly, and we don't want to add too little rice so that way when we open the pot back up, it's still like a soup. Okay, at this point now we are going to cover our pot. Just kind of stir it around a little bit, make sure that nothing is stuck to the bottom. Covering our pot now with some foil and the lid. We want to make sure that it has a nice tight seal, so that's why I kind of push it in just a little bit. Then we're going to put the cover down, and I like to bring the foil up so that way it kind of covers the lid and the seam, so I make sure that none of the steam from inside will be escaping on the outside. We're going to let this steam. We're going to lower the stove to like the lowest. I'm using electric stove, so I take it down to a 1, and we're going to let this steam for about 20 to 25 minutes. Our 25 minutes is up, and here you have it, ladies and gents, your perfectly cooked beef PELAU. Now if you happen to open your pot and there's still water at the top, then close it back and allow it to finish steaming until all the water is gone. If you open up your pot and you taste it, your rice is undercooked, that's not a big deal. Just add a little bit extra water and allow it to steam again, so that way it can be like fully cooked. This pairs really nicely with a cold side dish such as coleslaw or potato salad. And tonight we are eating our beef PELAU with some coleslaw, sliced up tomatoes and cucumbers that we seasoned and sprinkled some adobo or seasoning salt on top of. So I hope you guys get a chance to try the recipe. Let me know if you like it, and I'll see you back next time.